Hi, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. I'm your host, Crystal Fry, and I am so excited to be back here with you all tonight. Thank you for joining, both those who are watching live and to those who are watching in the replay. As you come in, say hello, drop down in the comments where you're watching from, whether you're live or in the replay, just drop it down there. I love to know where you guys are joining me from. Tonight, I am going to share with you 3 conversations you should be having with yourself right now. So I want to go ahead and invite you to share this video, start a watch party, tag people who need to see it. I really believe that this is going to be helpful, and I believe it's going to have some impact on your life. So go ahead and share it out, start a watch party, tag your friends. For some of you watching, this may be the first time that you are spending some time here. So if this is the first time you're watching me, I want to take a moment and just introduce myself. As I said at the very beginning, my name is Crystal Fry, and I am your transformational communication strategist. If you take a look at previous videos on this page, you may notice that my introduction has changed. I talk a lot and I teach a lot about transformation in one aspect or another. A lot of variations of transformation, but that really is what it comes down to. And a woman's best friend was very fitting for me because that was my primary audience. Now, I'm still a woman's best friend and have some other things happening with that particular moniker, but we grow, we change, we evolve, we transform, if you will. And so that's why you're seeing some changes. For those who have been with me for a while, or maybe even just a little while, that's why you're seeing some changes. As the personal transformation coach and corporate trainer, I solve the problem of transparency for individuals and for organizations through teaching the transformational power of words and communication with self and others. So, and the reason why that is so important to me is because, you see, I spent years of my life being stuck and with my mouth shut. As a kid who grew up with who was lovingly given the nickname Motor Mouth of the South, I never had a problem with talking. Right? I've never had a problem with talking, but at some point, my words failed to carry the meaning that I was trying to convey. And in my relationships, in my personal life, in my professional life, I was saying words, I was communicating, but it turns out I was really only saying things that other people wanted to hear. Not necessarily what I wanted to say or how I really felt, for that matter. I had effectively silenced myself. I had forgotten the power of my own voice. And as a result, I was not living the life that I wanted to live. So fast forward through some serious time spent in coaching, in self-reflection, and self-discovery, the study of communication, and here you have the woman before you now, completely in touch with where I am going, confident in what I have to say, and creating the life that I want to live. So if you want to find out more about that, about the journey, about the information, the power of communication, what it can really do for you, whether you're an individual or you're part of an organization, you can actually sign up for a complimentary transformational conversation with me. The information for that is scrolling right down here at the bottom of the screen. You can go to bit.ly/see-me30 and get some time on my calendar, and we can talk about where you are, where you want to go, and the next best step to get you there. Now, on to tonight's topic. 3 conversations you should be having with yourself right now. I'll give you a little hint. If you were listening just a minute ago, you already know what they are. Number 1, where are you? This is such an interesting question to me. Very interesting. Where are you? And actually, in the book of Genesis, it's what God asked Adam in the garden right after he and Eve ate the forbidden fruit and figured out that they were naked. And then they heard God walking through the garden. And so they went to go hide because they were naked and ashamed, right? That was the question. Where are you? And so I posed that question to you. This is the first conversation you need to be having with yourself right now. Where are you right now? How do you feel about your life? How do you feel about yourself? Are you doing what you want to do and living the life that you want to live? And I'm going to ask you to be honest. Don't bash yourself. Anyone, if you've watched my videos, I will always tell you, when you're asking these self-probing questions, when you're trying to really kind of get things figured out, this is never an opportunity, and I never encourage you to take that as an opportunity to, start in with the derogatory talk towards yourself. Because quite honestly, it does you no good, zero good. I mean, really, zero. It does you less than zero good. So that's not what we're talking about here. When I'm telling you to ask yourself the question of where are you? Where are you? Are you in the profession you want to be in? Are you working, the job you want to work? Do you have the relationship that you want to have? Not are you in a relationship? Do you have the relationship you want to have? Because for some people, that's not what they want, and that's okay. For other people, it's what they desire desperately. And instead of, sometimes they get tripped up and they stumble through a lot of the wrong ones before they find the right one. So ask yourself where you are right now. That's your baseline, where you are right now. Are you doing the things you want to do? Do you feel the way that you want to feel? Whether that's your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your financial health, any of those areas. Where are you? Take inventory. Evaluate. The second, and remember, be honest with yourself. It's just you and you. Be honest with yourself. If you can't be honest with you, it's going to be really difficult for you to be honest with anyone else. Just tossing that out there. The second conversation that you need to be having with yourself right now, where do you want to be? Now, and these questions are not posed as simply because one, I'm asking you so that you can ask yourself. But oftentimes for me personally, it's easier if I can look in the mirror and say, where are you? And actually be talking to the person in the mirror who is me. Yes, I get that. But in my mind, that conversation flows better if I'm talking to myself as if I'm talking to someone else. Sometimes I can be, sometimes that allows me to actually be a little more objective in the conversation. If I'm speaking as if I'm talking to someone else, because it doesn't allow me to let all of those little negative things come up. Whereas if I were to say, where am I? For me, again, it could be different for you, but for me, that opens up the door for those negative little voices that I've worked so hard to get rid of to pop back up. So for me, it's easier if I'm looking in the mirror and I say, all right, where are you? That was our first question, right? The first conversation, where are you? The second conversation, where do you want to be? This question, this conversation is likely going to take a little bit longer for you to answer because, well, let's face it, a lot of us don't take the time to really answer the question, where do you want to be? We get stuck. We get caught up in the mundane, in the routine of life, right? It just goes along and along. My good friend April Lewis, listened to her message this morning, and one of the things that she was saying in there was, do you ever get in the car and you drive home and you don't actually remember driving home? It's part of your routine, right? You've done it so many times over and over again. You ever, go through a certain routine and you don't even realize, you're not consciously thinking about doing the things that are part of that routine. It just happens. Well, that happens in life too. A lot of us get to a point where, unfortunately, things are just simply routine. We're not really paying attention. We're not really participating in what is going on. We're just kind of there going through the motions. So if you are not currently waking up every single morning in giddy disbelief that you get to be you, then ask yourself, where do you want to be? What does it look like? How does it feel? Like who else is in the picture with you? Are you by yourself on a fabulous tropical island? Hey, listen, that's half of my vacation, or my retirement dream. Okay. I'd like someone else to be there with me. I'd like for my husband to be there with me, but the tropical island thing is my bag. Specific. And listen, let me caution you here. I said just a couple minutes ago, this is the conversation that takes time, because so many of us have not really thought about it. You think high level, like, oh, well, I want to be successful. At what? And maybe you even know what the at what is, but do you know really what it looks like? Have you taken the time to visualize what your perfect day looks like? What does it look like? What time do you get up? What do you do when you get up? Do you go make coffee? Do you sit down and have breakfast? Do you read the newspaper? What do you do? What do you do? Seriously, this is a powerful thing to do as part of answering the question and having this conversation with yourself about where do you want to be, is taking the time to really imagine it, visualize it out. And while you're seeing it in your mind's eye, make sure that you really allow yourself to engage in that experience. Feel the feelings. If what you do in the morning is get up and you make yourself a cup of coffee, that's how you're starting your ideal perfect day. Smell the coffee. Seriously, smell the coffee. What kind of coffee is it? When I say get specific, I am so serious. Get specific down to every detail. And the reason why is because the more detail that you can put into visualizing where it is that you want to be, the more detail, the more senses, your five senses, the more of those that you can draw into that experience, the more it will tag into your emotional center, the more it will really become impactful. And the more you will actually start to unconsciously work towards that which you want. So this is not a time, this also too, as you're going through this, please, please, please remember, it's just you and you. You are sitting there visualizing this. It's just you and you. There is no room for guilt here, okay? There is no room for playing small just to make other people comfortable, because that will douse your dreams every single time. So when I say sit down and visualize your perfect day, so that you, as part of the conversation of where do you want to be, sit down and do it. And don't for 1 second feel bad about whatever that looks like for you, because it's your ideal perfect day, right? It's not anybody else's, it's yours. So do not feel bad about that. Listen, if your ideal perfect day is to wake up and maybe go take the dog for a walk and then go lay on the couch for 3 hours and, then maybe go meet some friends for something, it does not matter. That is my entire point here, is that it is very individualized. Where do you want to be? So that's your second conversation, right? That's the second conversation you should be having right now. Where do you want to be? Get specific. Make sure that you are able to really put words to what it is, that you're able to envision it and have that. Because the third conversation you need to be having with yourself. So the first one is, where are you? The second one is, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? The third conversation that you need to be having with yourself right now is, what's the next best step to get there? You got to know that. Now, when you know where you are and you know where you want to go, think of it like a vacation. Okay. You know where you are, you're right where you are. You know where you want to go, it's your vacation destination. Well, what's in between? It's your roadmap, right? It's your travel plan. It's your itinerary, it's your outline. It's the steps you're going to have to take to get from where you are to where you want to be, right? To get from home to your vacation destination. It's your map. The first thing on that map is the next best step to get you there. And then after that is the next, and then the next, and the next, and the next, and so on until you arrive at your vacation destination, right? So this is the same concept with your life, quite frankly. I know, right? We can take our the success of our life and draw the comparison of planning a vacation. Because in concept, it's the exact same thing. You know where you are. You know where you want to go. Now you have to figure out how to get there. So where you want to go, what do you do next? What do you need to get on the path to where you want to go? So that's figuring out what your next best step is, depending on where it is you want to go. Do you need coaching? Do you need to hire a coach? Listen, hiring the right coach for you is one of the best investments you will ever make, because it's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in yourself. I cannot overstate the value of having an excellent coach, or two, depending on what you need. But is that what you need right now? Is that the next best step? Is to find a coach that works with you? Now, because not all of them do. Listen, you got to think about personalities. You got to think about where they are. Are they doing what you want to do? In concept and theory, can they help you on your journey? Right? Those are all things to consider. Do you need education? Is education your next step? Is some portion of training or, certificate or degree or something, is that the next step on the way to getting where you want to go? Is it emotional support or repair? Whatever it is, understand that it's one step at a time. One of my favorite sayings, and I don't even remember where it came from, I don't remember where I heard it, but one of my favorites that I come back to every single time I've got a difficult challenge, every single time I've got something that looks big, that looks like it's just in the way, that I just don't know how I'm going to manage to push through it or push past it. I'm reminded of the saying, you can eat an elephant one bite at a time. Because that's really what it is. It's one step at a time, just one. So those are the 3 conversations that you need to be having with yourself right now. 1, where are you? 2, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? And 3, what's the next best step to get you there? That's it. Those are the 3 conversations you need to be having right now. Now, as I said earlier, if that is something that you feel I could help you with, or you want to see if I can help you with that, if you want to have some time to talk about it and get some more information, right down here at the bottom of the screen scrolling is the information to schedule your complimentary transformational conversation with me. You can go to bit.ly/see-me30. It's a 30-minute conversation. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. But it allows us to have these conversations about where you are, where you want to go, and what's the next best step. And then we go from there. So with that, I will close and say thank you all for joining me tonight. It has been, I've been on a little bit of a break, just handling some life things and going through transformational transformative situation of my own. So I'm so excited to be back here with you tonight. It's my pleasure to be here. It really is. It brings me joy, and hopefully it helps you out some too. So I will see you all again next week. And until then, my name is Crystal Fry. And while I am still a woman's best friend, I am also your transformational communication strategist. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, and I will see you all next time. Take care.